500.
You need to come in next lap. We have to check your tire pressure.
We need to check your tire pressure. Box.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, as always, Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. We've got a great show for you guys. I know, I say it every week, but all the shows are great. We've got Richard Enning, who's going to join us here in just a few moments. He's sitting in the green room right now, getting himself ready. We've got a lot to talk about, though, before we get to the great wisdom that will be Richard Enning's conversation. So hang in there with me. You all just saw an amazing way to sponsor people in the community. Everwash sponsored a go-kart racer. How cool is that? I promise, I can't promise this, but I assume that no go-karts or go-kart drivers were injured in the making of that video. So I will do that disclaimer for them, and you guys are welcome. You can hire me later. All right, so where are we going with the show today? Today in the United States, it is October 29th. That means that All Hallows Eve is coming up, and Halloween is right around the corner this Saturday. We may have talked about this on a previous show. I know that we had a marketing panel. You guys might have remembered. We may have predicted a little bit around the benefits of using Halloween tunnels around this time of year, especially this year. Let's go real quickly to our head in the box right over. You guys are going to look right up here. See where my finger's pointing? You're going to look right there. Let's just go back, rewind, and get our prediction real quick.
If you've got the time and the commitment and the community impact, especially if you're in a small town or you're within a neighborhood, this is your year.
There you have it. Head in the box. Nick Lopez from a previous special edition of the marketing panel on this program telling you that this is your year for a Halloween tunnel, and they're right. You guys are doing a great job with that. There's all kinds of great Halloween tunnel photos coming up all over the place. Great press. Debbie Whitlock from Great White Express, nice job. Ed Goff, nice job. Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Mountain View, you guys, great job. Everybody's doing a great job. I'm missing tons of folks. There's been so many posts on Talk Car Wash showing off what you all are doing with the haunted tunnels and the themed washes. So kudos to you all. Let's just take a quick look at a few of those here in video form. All right, so there you have it. We love what you all are doing out there in the community. Great job bringing that experience and taking advantage of the timing this year in 2020 to provide great service and experience and opportunity in your local communities. So thank you, everybody, for making this about more than washing cars. We will be gathering some of those highlights and pulling those together, so make sure you check that out at carwashmagazine.com. in the future. So, all right, that's Halloween. Guess what? We had another marketing panel for you last week where we were talking about how consumer habits are changing as it relates to COVID. And so this is another one of those things where predictions are happening. You all need to tune in so that you know what's coming next. In case you missed it, here's about a minute of last week's show.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the consumer habits change. And, thankfully, we worked really hard over the summer on acquisition of our memberships. And we've recovered to about pre-COVID levels in the terms of our unlimited wash plans. But we are really working hard to supplement that with single wash business. So just like Wade was saying, we're really looking to make sure that we've got enough single washers coming in that our sales associates can do what they do best, which is convert those to memberships on site. So for us, the name of the game is really making sure that that customer experience is amazing so we can keep those members that we have fought so hard to reacquire, and then keep supplementing that, which, wasn't our approach previously. We were 100% focused on those members, but now we're seeing that we need to balance that out. And, the consumer habits are changing. We think that people, those single washers, it's a discretionary purchase. It's a discretionary choice, whether they're leaving their house or not during this pandemic. And so we need to really attract them. And we're working hard to do that with new offers and outreach mechanisms that we haven't tried before.
All right, that was it, you all. In case you missed it, that was last week. A quick snippet from Ann Mahler giving her thumbs up or a thumbs down on consumer habits change thanks to COVID-19. Make sure you check out previous episodes at carwashmagazine.com, YouTube, wherever you're consuming media these days. And guess what? As a special treat this week on Car Wash the Podcast, we took that entire episode and turned that into a podcast for you so you can listen to that when you're getting a little windshield time, or maybe you need to multitask and you shouldn't be watching your screen. So make sure you, anywhere you consume your podcasts, you check that out. Car Wash the Podcast. Get subscribed and get that marketing knowledge in your brain. Get it in your brain. All right, friends, it is now time for my favorite segment and yours. We got jokes. So, in keeping with the Halloween theme, I'm gonna give you my best effort here today. We've got a great joke coming up. Are you ready for it? Because I am. What does a ghost keep in its stable? Nightmares. Yeah, that's right. You didn't like that one. Okay. How about why are ghosts terrible liars? Because you see right through them. All right. Well, send me your jokes. Until then, you're stuck with mine, mdewolf@carwash.org. Without further ado, let's check out a fantastic tour of a Mr. Wash site in Germany. All right, there you have it. A fantastic tour. Some of you may have seen that if you've been in the show in Amsterdam, but guess what? You got to see it again if you haven't seen it lately. And for those of you who are seeing it for the first time, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself with us on the show today. Richard Enning, welcome to the program.
Yeah, hello everybody.
So, Richard, you're joining us from Germany today. How are things going there for you?
Yeah, it's already dark here, but that's to the time difference. But maybe it's getting dark next week. I don't know what's going to happen. We have a shutdown starting from Monday. They call it all leisure activities have to drive down, like restaurants, amusement parks, and all this stuff. I don't know if car washes are part of leisure activities. But I see the problem that when everything is very calm next week here, and we are the only busy places, that we might get ordered to close as well. But right now we are still positive, and we will be open on Monday, and then let's see what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, wave two of the closures just happened. What, yesterday in Germany? Is that true?
Yeah,
Germany and France?
Yesterday evening. Yeah, we have 16 states here, so the governors from the 16 states, together with Chancellor Merkel, they decided to do that to start the whole November. So it starts on Monday, the 2nd, and then we have it till the end of November. And they hope that they can reduce the wave. We have around 18,000 infections per day right now.
Okay.
It's increasing day by day, and they hope after 2 weeks, when they do that they lower the rate, and that we don't get on the point where the capacities of the hospitals is in any way at the end. So that's the reason. Yeah.
Well, the good news is that we've all been here before, and you guys came out the other side of the first shutdown, and I'm sure that you guys will be fine coming out the other side of this one as well. So. Break a leg or good luck or whatever your term of well wishes is, but let's move on to more exciting things, more fun things, shall we? Let's go back to an introduction of sorts for everybody kind of watching this. I referenced you as the man, the myth, the legend. Not everybody might know you, so if you could just give us a brief intro about yourself and Mr. Wash.
Yeah, we have a company here called Mr. Wash that was founded by my father in 1963. The first wash was opened in 1964, and he had really good relationships to the US at that time. So he got the inspiration of setting up the first conveyor car washes from the United States, and then he continued and slowly expanding, and then faster and faster expanding. And then I joined the company in 1993. Before that, I worked for another company, but in 1993, I came into Mr. Wash. And today we run 34 locations. We have 4 locations that are under construction right now, and we have 2 more sites that we bought. So in 2 years, we will have around 40 locations. And I would say that we started with the interior cleaning business on the belts about 12 years ago, and this is today. I would say that we are really big in the interior cleaning business on belts. We have 41 belts in 26 locations, so most locations have 2 belts, and I think this is one of the biggest points what the customer recognizes of our company today.
Well, and I know that
that was a really good move for us to go in the interior cleaning on the belts.
Well, absolutely, and it's paying off for folks in the U.S. who have had the opportunity to visit your wash too, because I know that lots of U.S. operators draw inspiration and insight from what you all are doing there. So, thank you for being willing to share. That's an important piece of this industry. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm sharing. I mean, that's the word that. I mean, when I was president of the ICA, that was one of my biggest credos, was always to say, we are in a business where we have to share. And I was always willing to share what we have here. A lot of people in the US who run interior belts visited several of our places. And as I mentioned before, I mean, the inspiration of setting up Mr. Wash as a company came from the US, where my father had the idea. I mean, that was also kind of sharing. I must say, when we started with the first interior belt, I went over to Pennsylvania to Reading and saw the place of Mike Mounts, and I saw what he did there. And then that was for me a big inspiration to see how we could set up a similar system here in Germany. I mean, today we are far away from how we started, but the principle is still the same. So it's always a giving and taking, and that's the reason why I'm very happy to sit here and to share how we do it here. I mean, you can decide, everybody can decide if it's good for them or not, but that's the way we're doing it, and that's pretty good for us.
Well, if folks are just joining the program, and I know I can see by our counts that some of you are just tuning in right now, this is Matt DeWolf, editor-in-chief of Car Wash Magazine, joined by Richard Enning of Mr. Wash in Germany. And we're about to dive into some specifics around site design and decision-making and perspective. And my favorite part is going to be when we get to the section about how to get a really dry car. So stay tuned for that. Let's go back, Richard. Can we come back to Aachen a little bit? Like that video tour for people who have either seen it before or maybe haven't seen it before. It looks amazing. Like it's like everybody's dream, right? Like you could watch that over and over again and wish that you had a site like that. But when we were talking last week, kind of preparing for this, you said like it wasn't all roses. Like there are some mistakes there and some things you wish you would have done differently. Can you share a little bit about kind of what you maybe would work on that site?
Yeah, I know that from several places, not only from Aachen. And one of the big mistake that that you can do is if you buy existing buildings, that you stay too close with the buildings and you say, okay, we have this building, so we have to use this building in the way it is or so. You have a different situation like when you start with a clean piece of paper, a clean plan, and then you decide what you do. If you have an existing building, you are somehow limited to this building. So talking about Aachen, what I would do different compared to what we did today, after what I learned, is that I would tear down not the whole building, but let's say the first 30 or 60 feet of the building, which are close to the street, because the building is too close to the street. And that is not showing really the activity of the car wash. Because as a driver, when you drive by the building, you have the feeling, or it's the perspective of like it is a wall or something. It's a closed facade. It's not really, there is not so much action. So what I really must say is, if you buy land and you have building on it, and you think the building is suited to integrate something, a car wash or interior or whatever, sit down first and make the plan on the land without the building at all, and then compare what you did without the building to what you have, and if that is suitable for having the perfect car wash. But don't start with the building and then you make your plans around the building. That is the wrong approach. And this is really a lesson that I learned totally. I mean, Aachen is fine, Aachen is nice, but this is one thing that I would do different next time, definitely.
That's really interesting.
By the way, the same with remodeling your own car washes, remodeling existing car washes. We are in the situation where we have to remodel several of our car washes within the next 2 or 3 years because we want to add the interior belts. We have 3 or 4 left. 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said, okay, let's take the existing car wash and try to integrate something here and there.
Sure.
Today, I would say, I see this places only as a lamp that we have, no matter how the car wash is there. Just look upon it as a clean piece of paper and make the plan, and then we can decide if we tear down everything and build it completely new, or if we can use anything.
Yeah, that's interesting because there is definitely risk involved in terms of approaching it that way, because from in your brain you think, man, that's going to cost a lot of money, right? But having a longer term perspective and thinking about, yes, that might cost me more money today, but it's going to be better for my business in the long run, and it's going to make me more profitable, more efficient, and draw more customers in if I do it the right way, right? If I kind of start from scratch in those places. So really, really good advice, because I know that when you're in the moment and you're doing a big project, sometimes it's easy to put the blinders on and just focus on what's in front of you and not see down the road. So super awesome advice for everybody out there. Hey, Richard, we did get a question come in. People want to know, how many acres is that Aachen site on? How many acres does it sit on? And I don't know the translation for you, but I'm sure that you're better than that. Better at that than I am.
Yeah, 1 acre is 4,000 square meters. So
Okay.
we have there we have around 12,000. So we have about 3 acres. 4,000, 4, 12. Yeah, we have around 3.5 acres there.
Okay, cool. 3 acre. So that's a 3 acre site for those of you watching at home, with a lot of really awesome activity kind of going on the site that you can see in the tour. And I know, Richard, that's another thing about that whole perspective piece for you. And you were talking about it a little bit with the location to the road. Having that car wash activity and having customers see that's really kind of a key component of what you all do with your site design, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, if you are asking me about the size in Aachen, I can also add that the building, the old hall, it was an old Home Depot, alone has 1.5 acre under a roof. So that is, you could say nearly half of the site is building, and we didn't need this building. Yeah. So that's really something where I would say next time we do it, we reduce this to what we really need. You said the visibility, of course, that is a core function of the building and of the architecture and all the stuff. And I sent you 2 pictures, one of the typical photographer who takes a picture from the building, which is usually not the perspective of somebody who is driving by the side.
Yep.
And that is a typical problem, that you are always looking on nice buildings and the movies and stuff like that. You always show the nice side, but there's only one thing that counts, and that is the perspective from the street, and not looking on your side. It is a typical perspective of somebody who is passing by your side. And usually you have to say passengers or drivers are looking to the front, and they are not looking, oh, what is here, what is here, what is here. They are looking to the front. And then you have to have something on the side that draws their attention. And I mean, perfect for me, in my opinion, is to have a car wash site and to have the entrance to the site at the end of your real estate, yep, so that they can pass by and then they can make the decision: should I go or shouldn't I go? They should go, of course, and then they take a right turn and get on your side. I mean, this is how it usually works. Yeah, and it's not it's a question of signage, of course, yeah, but it's not only a question of signage. It's a point where you can say they pass by and they have time to make the decision to take the right turn.
Yeah, and if we're fortunate enough that they also have to stop at a stoplight and look over, right? That helps out too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that is our ideal place is a street where you have where you have traffic that is not traffic coming from A to B, where everybody is just going to the other place between, yeah, 2 city parts or whatever. It must be inner city circle, not too fast, 35 miles or so, interrupted by traffic lights, and so that is perfect for us.
So let's take that. I love that concept of thinking about that from the driver perspective, because you're totally right. Everybody, we take these beautiful photos of our locations, and they look great, right? But it's not what, yeah, the customer actually sees. And those photos I showed everybody while you were talking about it really demonstrate that point. Let's take that further though, because it goes further than just like the site signage and the view from the road. You incorporate that whole perspective and kind of getting down into the driver's seat in everything you do, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody or a lot of people are talking about the customer perspective, and then they are talking more like a principle. We have to see our service from the customer perspective, and how does the customer see or feel our service, and that's absolutely correct. Of course, we do the same thing, but you have to take the customer perspective really in reality, sitting, having the eye level and just watching the stuff from the perspective of a customer, and not only like how he sees it, but also how he is behaving. For instance, I mean, if you set up a sign, you could set up a sign at a place where you say, okay, this is a nice place because I have this big wall here, and this big wall is really a good place for setting up a big sign because I just have to put this sign on this wall. But that's not a good idea. If this wall is in a curve where everybody is just making a right turn or left turn, everybody is just driving with his car on this turn. We have some older signs here in our company that are super, super big. And the message there is like screaming to the customer, so big. But nobody pays attention to it because people are paying attention to other stuff. Because they are driving the car in this moment. Or if, I never put any signage at the end of the tunnel because everybody is concentrated on getting on the tunnel. I never put any signage at the entrance of the tunnel, except signage that helps the customer to get on the belt or on the conveyor, but nothing else like buy unlimited or do this or this or this, because I know that everybody is somehow stressed when he is driving on the belt and he doesn't pay attention. Yeah. Even us, we are driving in car washes, I don't know how many times a week. But even if somebody would measure our skin resistance, they would find out that even we have a different feeling when we drive on the belt. In this moment, when we drive on the belt, this is a stress moment, and you have to make it as easy as possible for the customer. That means for me, no extra signage like do this or do that, or buy this or buy that. So that is really what I mean with the eyes of the customer, to really go through it and not just saying it as an academic principle, but really do it step by step by step. And what is the perspective? And if you see it from the perspective of the customer, really see it, and you have to talk to service advisors and stuff like that. Names of your car wash programs is the same thing. Yeah. A lot of people have super fancy names for their car wash programs, but that is not how people would like to order. Yeah. Because they don't like to order the gold wash or the platinum ultimate wash or the whatever diamond wash. I just want, and that's what I did. I just listened to what are they saying, the customers, and then I just used these names, what people are usually using, to give the names to our washes. And what they usually say, if they want the best wash, is just they want the best. So it's called the best, very easy. And if they have the simple one, they just say simple, so it's called simple. The German word, einfach, simple. And a lot of people say, oh normal. Yeah, so it's the second one is normal. Yeah. So this is what I mean with customer perspective. Not only we are customer orientated, and so we all are customer orientated, of course, but really what counts in the eyes of the customer.
That's really funny to hear you talking about the menus. I think you may have some opponents watching the show who may say, they do it a different way and they have a few reasons why. But hey, we all get to decide what we think is best for our business, and there we go, right? Yeah. I do love this concept of taking this perspective deeper than just knowing your customer and understanding what they want, and really looking through and going through. It's like what people told me when we had to childproof our home for our children, or pet proof your home. Get down on their level. That's the only way you're ever going to see where the real danger is and the opportunity. So I love that advice. Super sage stuff coming out of our friends in Germany here. If you all are watching, if you just tuned in, this is Richard Enning from Mr. Wash with myself, Matt DeWolf, editor-in-chief of Car Wash Magazine. We're talking about site design and getting down and really looking from behind the view of the customer, and helping you with your site design in that respect. If you missed it, we had a tour video that we ran. We're going to show that again for you all who tuned in a little bit late. Get here on time next time. We're going to show it at the end of the program here, so stay tuned for that, and you'll get to see that again. Richard, I want to move into one of the things that you and I talked about that I think is fascinating, and that's this concept of getting a dry car. And before we get to that, can you just talk a little bit about maybe what's different between German consumers and American consumers in terms of their expectation coming through the wash?
Yes, of course. the first thing is that I would say the general behavior here in Germany of customers is pretty much the same, or it's very similar to the behavior in the United States. And there are some differences. So I would say that if we would take our washes that we run here in Germany one-to-one to the US, probably that wouldn't work. And if somebody from the US would take his wash one-to-one here to Germany, probably it would not work. What are the differences? I think the difference, one of the biggest differences is that here the typical German customer is expecting a really, really bone dry car when it comes out. So it really means no drops at all, only maybe micro drops on the back side, but the surface, the windshield has to be completely dry, really dry. German customer also is looking very much on the wheels. Wheels are extremely important here. Some people spend more money on the wheels than on the whole car, but the wheels are a big issue. But other than in the US, nobody cares for the tires. Tire shine is not a big thing here. I mean, we try to sell tire shine in the wash. That doesn't work. People are not interested in tire shine. Right now, we are selling tire shine as part of our best program for the interior. I did that mostly to have a differentiation between the normal interior and a better interior.
Yeah.
But that is only a small percentage. So tire shine is not a big thing here. One other thing that doesn't work here is triple foam. People don't like triple foam here because they would ask you, why is the upper foam blue and the other one yellow? Is that a different foam? And if you would say, oh no, it's just a nice color, then the typical German would say, oh no, not for the color. I want to know why it is, and if it's only different colors, that doesn't make sense. So it's only white foam here. That's how it's working. And one super big difference, which is good for us here in Germany or in Europe, is no pickup trucks. No huge pickup trucks. We have only the normal cars. I mean, concerning the normal passenger cars, that's different than maybe 20 years ago because they are really similar. I mean, the American models and German models concerning size and shape, and so they are very similar today. But the pickup trucks, that's a big difference. And I don't think that I think that's a big issue for all the American operators to handle this sometimes really huge monster things. And we don't have that here at all. So that's good for us.
Yeah, we call them shin busters, right?
That's an important thing. Yeah, that's the most important in dry car.
The trailer hitches with the trucks, that it's like running the gauntlet. You know, you're gonna bang your shin every time on those things. Let's come back to the dry component of this. I've been seeing some washes in the U.S. have been starting to put in drying chambers, right? So they're enclosing the space, they're adding some heat. Is that the secret? I mean, what are you all doing to get the dry car that is meeting your customer expectations?
Yeah, I mean, finally, it's only a question of energy. You have to bring in electrical energy, which means blowers, and you have to bring in heat energy, and then you can try to make the surrounding as effective as possible, to have a small room so that you are not losing too much heat. We experimented with doors at the entrance of the heat chamber. We call it heat chamber then, and at the exit, just to keep all the heat within. I'm totally not convinced of any kind of drying where you touch the car with any kind of towels or stuff like that. So we have a total contactless drying system. And I looked it up because I knew we were talking about this. So usually we have about 10 to 12 engines in the blower. And 8 of them are with 11 kilowatt and 2 for the mirrors, especially 7.5 kilowatts. So we have more than 100 kilowatt electrical energy in our blowers. And the heat that we're producing is around 160 degrees Fahrenheit that we bring on the car. And one other thing, if you talk about dry cars, is the last RO flood that we bring on the car is also heated. So with the last water that we bring on the car, we also bring heat on the surface of the car. And this surface stays on the car. So if you have heated water that you bring on the car as the last part, because before you go in the dryer, you have already heated energy on the surface of the car, which makes it easier to dry the car.
And people said car washing was easy. Come on. Hey, I hope everybody wrote that down. The super interesting information. If you didn't write it down, you can catch this episode in its recorded version in the next few hours or so. But I want to ask you one more question here before I let you get back to the business of washing cars, which I guess for you is going to start again tomorrow. But
Correct.
what is it, Richard, that keeps you kind of coming back to this industry, or what is it that gives you hope?
You know, what really drives me is the perspective of the customer. I'm a totally service, or let's say I'm a totally human relation orientated person. And what's most important for me is always the relationship to the humans, human beings that are acting here. This is the employees and the customers. You know, I hate the word human resource management because for me, humans are not resource. I always talk about human relation management. And concerning human relation management, you have to follow the same principles of friendliness and reliability and all this stuff, no matter if it's a customer or an employee. And if you follow this principle, we did that here since a couple of years, then you are really on the winning road. Yeah? And then it doesn't come right away, but it comes. And that is something that is really driving me back every morning with fun in the company, because I see that people are happy, people are reacting in a positive way. I just turned 60 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And from my company, I got a present where 1,600 people from our company signed on a big sign that they put in front of my house. And then I know that that we are doing something correctly here. And this is what's really driving me, just to see that we make people happy. Customers, employees, make them happy with a clean car. By the way, this is our slogan, sauberes Auto, gute Laune, which means clean car, good mood. Yeah?
That's perfect. That's so perfect. Like, I mean, that's universal, right? Clean car, good mood. I love that. Well, Richard, I'm going to let you get back to it. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's been awesome to get to kind of share some of the perspective and your learning. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you. And enjoy the evening. No, you have not the evening. I enjoy the evening.
You get the evening. You have a good evening. We're going to have a good day, right? Thanks, Richard. Bye-bye. Yeah. Hey, you guys watching at home, thanks for tuning in. This has been Car Wash Magazine Live. Matt DeWolf, editor-in-chief of Car Wash Magazine, with Richard Enning from Mr. Wash. If you want to watch more of these programs, you can go to carwashmagazine.com, YouTube, anywhere you consume this stuff. We are where you want to be. Make sure you check it out. We're going to end this show because of special request from you all watching there at home. We're gonna show that tour video again. But first, we've got a real quick video from Be Clean Car Wash. Technically, it's not from Be Clean, but it was filmed at Be Clean, provided by Vinny. Let me make sure I get his name right. Vinny Hennel, who is the drummer in this band. So here's a little rock video for you right before we're going to end the program with another Mr. Wash tour video, because you guys loved it so much. And you won't see me again. So when you're out there this weekend, make sure that you do the right thing and keep it clean.
The red sets you straight, but the blues, they get you going.
You're moving, blues will give you a groove and get you paid by you've been mixing it up. gassing you up. But with the rest, to let you prove it, amuse them and confuse them, cruising to say you've been changing it up. When every legend has a legend, confession or imperfection, I mentioned we just been making it up, so give it to me, yeah. For your time, for your time, for your time. You with me like a machine, oh yeah. And now you're breaking me clean, oh yeah. And I don't wanna believe it, no, no, no. I'll become your machine, oh, no, no, no. You with me like a machine, oh yeah. And now you're breaking me clean, oh yeah. And I don't wanna believe it, no, no, no. I'll become your machine, oh, no. Sitting on the dulcim of soul emotion, flowing the potion, taking you up. Don't you regret it, learn to be level-headed, or heavy-set, keeping you up. You gotta lose them, stupid, choose it, improve it, improve it, improve it, and lose it again. No, 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 no. Say, hey, what's happening? The past ain't up, fast ain't flashing up, passion up, fast ain't cashing.